Well, good morning. It's a great day to be a Georgian, isn't it? Tim, I want to thank you for that update about this fabulous facility. But I also would like for you to convey to Mr. Blank how much we appreciate him and the work he's done here in this spot, but what he's done for his neighbors all across this state. His support of his neighbors and caring doesn't go unnoticed. And give him our thanks, personally and from the people we represent. I want to thank the Georgia Chamber, Chris Clark and his entire team for putting on such an outstanding event year after year. Pretty good spot this year. It's great to see so many local chambers from across the state here as well today. Local leadership is the key to our state's continued success, and I want to thank y'all for everything you do around this great state of Georgia. Well, I was told I was supposed to get up here and talk about my priorities. I thought about the budget, Governor, and about the budget surplus. Thank you, Governor. Our economic development success, big numbers, right? But you know, I've never thought a lot about math during my life. There's been other things I was focusing on. But you know, I figured if you were right 90% of the time, who cares about the other 5%, right? Maybe a little bit early in the morning for some of you on that one, but I get it. No, but in all seriousness, we are looking forward to a positive and productive legislative session. I want to thank Governor Kemp and Lieutenant Governor Jones for their leadership and working with us to accomplish more big wins for Georgia families. My mission is to make Georgia the best place to live, to work, and raise a family for generations to come, and have a little fun along the way. We're going to look at 5 areas this session to build on our state's success and do just that. The first is health care. When it comes to health care, increasing access, lowering cost, and creating better outcomes for Georgia families will be a top priority of the House this coming session. Certainly, we've heard from Georgians across the state through testimony and recommendations from the House Study Committee on Certificate of Need Modernization about ways to improve competition and access to care. I want to thank Chairman Butch Parrish and the members of that committee for their impressive work in the interim. We know that in many parts of our state, particularly in rural areas, Georgians' health care options are often limited. Our primary focus is to increase competition and access and lower costs for families and businesses alike so they can get the health care they need. We're going to look at ways to improve and reform the CON process to create more transparency, efficiency, and competition so that more Georgians can have better access to more affordable health care across the entire state of Georgia. Things like removing the barrier for additional psychiatric beds to help more patients struggling with mental health issues. Removing barriers to allow hospitals to upgrade their equipment to deliver better care. And hold all health care providers accountable for providing indigent care for the most vulnerable among us. These are just a few of the measures we're going to look at to move the ball forward on this issue and improve health care access across this state. When it comes to health care, there has certainly been a lot of discussion of late about Medicaid expansion. Expanding access to care for lower-income working families through a private option in a fiscally responsible way that lowers premiums is something we will continue to gather facts on in the House. Chairman Parrish and his committee have done a phenomenal job looking at Certificate of Need reforms, and I will be asking him to gather more information, hear from stakeholders, policy experts, and members on both sides of the aisle to develop any potential recommendations on this issue. We're also going to look at ways to expand telemedicine and increase services so that Georgians can obtain health care from their doctor or specialist remotely. By doing this, we'll be able to continue expanding access, lowering costs for patients and providers, pretty important. And mental health will also continue to be a priority for the House. Last year, the House passed a significant piece of legislation to improve mental health across our state and build upon the work of Speaker David Ralston. And we will certainly be looking at ways to make sure the substance of that legislation makes it to the governor's desk. Second, when it comes to public safety, we've made significant investments over the past years, and we're going to continue to building on those achievements. Our heroes in law enforcement put their lives on the line every single day to protect our communities across the state and our way of life here in Georgia. We've increased pay for our law enforcement officials, prohibited local governments from cutting their police budgets, and increased criminal penalties for gang members, sex traffickers, and repeat offenders. This coming year, we're going to continue investing in our law enforcement officers through additional pay raises, work to increase our Georgia State Patrol troopers from around 700 troopers out there now up to around 1,000, and strengthen the retirement programs for our law enforcement and first responders. Unfortunately, we've seen some disturbing issues arise in our prison system. In many instances, our prison system is overstrained, and guards are underpaid and understaffed. This creates opportunities for criminals to orchestrate criminal activity from the inside of the prison walls. We're going to look at ways to crack down on that, help recruit and retain correctional officers, and increase penalties for contraband and corruption in our prison systems. Third, there is simply no more important issue than ensuring our students have the best education possible, no matter what path in life they choose. We want every child in our state to have the opportunity to learn, grow, and explore in a safe and secure environment. We want our parents and teachers to wake up every day and have peace of mind. That is happening when they go to work or drop their kids off at school. That's why I'm proud to support providing every public school system in Georgia with an additional $45,000 per school to hire school safety officers and strengthen campus security. Last year, we took tremendous strides to improve childhood literacy by passing House Bill 538, sponsored by Representative Bethany Ballard, which the governor signed into law. Thank you, Governor. This year, with help of Pro Tem Jan Jones, we're going to invest in our pre-K education from top to bottom. By doing this, we will ensure our children get a jump start on early learning, that each of them is prepared to enter kindergarten, and that pre-K teachers are supported and valued. Expanding pre-K education will also allow more Georgians, particularly women who so often sacrifice so much, the flexibility to take a new job, to re-enter the workforce, or provide for their families. Finally, we want to look at ways to moderate schools' media use for our students. Social media platforms can be incredibly useful tools, helping share information and updates instantaneously. But they also can be dangerous platforms for the mental health and well-being of our students. So we're going to look at things like age verification, parental consent, as well as strengthening cyberbullying definitions and penalties to create safer learning environments in our schools. Fourth is elections. After all, last time I checked, 2024 is here and it's an election year. When we passed an Election Integrity Act in 2021, political pundits assailed our efforts then, and they do now, by falsely saying we were suppressing the vote. In reality, we made it easier to vote and harder to cheat while putting safeguards in place to strengthen the transparency and trust in our elections. The result? Georgia had the highest voter participation in the Southeast, according to one poll. More than 90% of voters reported having zero issues last election cycle. We know that 2024 will once again be a pivotal election, and Georgia will again be the political epicenter of the nation. It is therefore critical we do everything in our power to continue safeguarding our elections, increasing transparency, and building on our efforts to increase voter participation at every turn. To do that, we're going to look at making our state board of elections more autonomous by separating them from the Secretary of State's office. This will allow them to adjudicate election complaints more efficiently, independently, and impartially. Second, we're going to strengthen the security of our ballots by moving away from the QR code on ballots, which many voters find confusing, and towards visible watermarks on security paper to denote voter selections. Lastly, with artificial intelligence becoming more and more of a reality in our everyday lives, we're going to look at ways to strike a balance between supporting innovation while also protecting the rights of Georgians. To that end, we want to prevent any election interference through the use of generative AI by creating significant criminal penalties for any bad actors attempting to alter an election. When voters see a political advertisement from a candidate or campaign, they should have the utmost confidence that it's that candidate's voice, image, and likeness, not a robot's. And we're going to set out to make sure of that. Last year, our great state of Georgia was once again recognized as the best place to do business for the 10th straight year. A testament to the years of conservative leadership from our General Assembly and our governors. Thank you, Governor Kemp. Economic success doesn't happen by accident or in a vacuum. It is the result of sound policy, fiscally conservative budgeting, free market principles, strategic partnerships, and prioritizing the job creators, entrepreneurs, and businesses across this state, large and small. First, we will continue building on the House-led historical tax cut by accelerating the cut to the state income tax from 5.75% to 5.39%, which will return another $1 billion to Georgia taxpayers. As Georgians, I like that too. As Georgians continue to struggle with higher gas and grocery prices as a result of the Biden administration's inflation, we will continue to put more money back into the pockets of our hard-working Georgians and their families. I'm also proud to announce that we intend to increase the child deduction on state income tax from $3,000 to $4,000 and adjust the homestead exemption from $2,000 to $4,000 to bring even more tax relief to Georgia families. Chairman Shaw Blackman has been busy working with our colleagues in the Senate to look at our tax exemptions, and I want to thank him for his hard work. I'm confident that their work will allow us to maximize the return on investments of our current tax credits, ensuring that they are creating jobs and limit the state's long-term fiscal exposure. The contrast could not be clearer. Washington is broken, Georgia is booming, and we are going to continue to write the economic success story and create more opportunities for hardworking Georgians every day. Lastly, let me just say how proud and honored I am to be serving our state in this role. How proud I am to be serving with every single member of the Georgia House of Representatives. And how proud I am of each one of them and their work to make our state a better place. I am incredibly excited about the potential we have to make generational improvements to the lives of every family in this state. We will stay focused on issues that improve the lives of every Georgia family, lift up our middle and working class, and create more opportunities for folks to live out their dreams right here in Georgia. That is our mission, and I look forward with each of you just to get it done. Thank you. May God bless our great state. God bless all of you here, and God bless these United States of America. Thank you.